How are y'all doing today? So I'm not gonna make this a really long video, at least I hope not. I want to share a little bit about what's been going on the past few days with me, with my health. If you follow me on Instagram, then you may have seen that there were some things that was going on. So I want to talk about it. I'm in the parking lot right now of the hospital. Drove with my husband to go visit a friend of his. So I've just been tired of sitting in the house, y'all. Like, the house is driving me bananas. I can't do it no more. So I wanted to come and go for the ride. So, all right, I'm not gonna make this long. So as you may see by the title, not sure what I'm gonna title this as of yet. I had kidney stones. Yes, if you don't know what that is, do some research. Do some research, okay? Because I don't want to explain it in that way, you know? So let me just give you guys like a little background. So if you feel like I am talking a little low or dry, it's because I'm still recovering. I'm technically not supposed to drive, which I'm not. My husband's inside. I'm not supposed to be walking around too much, supposed to be on bed rest, you know. Last week, Sunday, right? Normal day. Got back home from the gym, working out, went grocery shopping, you know, normal routine. Then I got, you know, a little like not feeling good. My back was hurting a little bit, but didn't think nothing of it, right? So Monday comes along, and I'm telling Marcus that my head is pounding. We still went to church. My head was pounding. I never complain about how loud music is, worship is at church, but it was so loud that day. It turned out it's because of this reason. My head was pounding uncontrollably. And that night we left church, went home, got home a little like 9:30, 10 o'clock, and I just threw up. And then right after I threw up, I had uncontrollable chills. And it was like my whole body was like doing this. And I couldn't stop. Like, I couldn't grab my phone. So I'm like crying. Like, I'm in bed. I'm just trying to rest. But I couldn't, because like my whole body, I didn't feel hot. So like, he put up the AC for me, got a blanket, you know, all of that stuff, but I'm still like shaking. So not sure what it is. I still have this back pain a little bit, but it's not as bad. Monday night, at this time, at like 11 o'clock when I'm in bed. So moving forward to Tuesday now. Tuesday, I had Tuesday night, transitioning into like midnight, 1 a.m., 2 a.m., 3 a.m. The back pain gets severe. I mean, it was such severe back pain that I've never felt before. I remember calling my sister Tuesday morning, and I'm like, what did you do? What do you do for back pain? Like, I feel like I pulled a muscle at the doctor's, and I'm not really sure like what's going on. I couldn't do anything Tuesday. All I did was like lay down in bed, and it was on the right side, like my waist back, which is my kidney. But it was such a pain, y'all. It was such a pain that I've never felt before. But again, I didn't know if I pulled a muscle or anything. So here I'm calling my sister. She gave me some stretches and stuff to do. I'm doing those stretches, making it worse. Myself, I'm thinking I pulled a muscle, so I'm massaging it with the gun roller. It makes it 20 times worse. So at this point on Tuesday, my headache is massive. I mean, like right here, my temples, right here, the back of my neck. I don't even know how to like really show y'all, but like right here, it still hurts right now. It's like still swollen a little bit. I don't know what they're called. Right there, underneath my ears, right here in front of my ear, it still hurts too here. All of that. was painful, like so painful. I even felt it a little bit like right here. It was just terrible. So I felt the pain right there as well. And so then I didn't really think anything of it. I'm like, maybe I'm getting sick a little bit. That's when I posted it on Wednesday on my story, what's been going on. Mind you, in the midst of this, I've been throwing up as well. So I'm like, oh, maybe like I ate out somewhere and I ate something that I wasn't supposed to eat, and that's like what kind of triggered my, you know, something. So the next day comes around, rolls around on a Wednesday. Everything gets worse. I wake up at 7 o'clock in the morning. I had terrible back pains. I had terrible back pains again on Tuesday night. I mean, I couldn't find a comfortable spot to sleep in, neither left nor right. So it's on the right side. But even when I slept on the left side, it felt like the right side was pushing in. So when I tried to sleep on the right side, it felt like the right side was pushing up. So I couldn't find a comfortable spot, not on my back or anything like that. So I'm on the floor, and I remember I was crying because I'm like, this pain is unbearable. I don't know what's going on, but it just don't feel good. And I had no idea that it was my kidneys at all. So this pain is getting worse. It's getting worse. And not really doing anything about it because I don't know what to do. So I wake up around 7 a.m. on a Wednesday, and I have an extremely high fever. We didn't have a thermometer, so I didn't know the actual degree of my fever at the moment. But before Marcus left, he did check me, and I woke up in a pool of sweat. I mean, like, the entire bed, my side of the bed was just soaked. But like, you could put your hand like this close to me and you feel the heat. I felt the heat radiating out of my body. It was terrible. So I did not feel good at all. I couldn't eat. I didn't have any like appetite or anything. So I remember just laying on the couch, and I'm like, I don't feel good. You know, Marcus just told me to rest. We don't know what it is. Just rest, and like whatever it is, like let it do its thing and pass. So I'm laying on the couch. I'm trying to nap, but like I'm having painful sleep. Like my back is hurting, my head is throbbing, like I can't really sleep. It was just horrific. So then I call Marcus like around 12, and I'm like, I do not feel good. Can you come home? And I don't ever call him to come home for stuff like when I'm not feeling good, because that's kind of stupid. But I was like, I really don't feel good. Like I need help getting up to go to the bathroom type of thing. That's how bad it was. So he comes home, take care of me. You know, he went to the store, got me some ice, because I was so hot, y'all. And on top of that, that day it was about 92 degrees. Wednesday was about 92 degrees. And it was so hot. We had the AC on in the house. The AC was up. I'm a person on a normal day, I like to keep the AC on at about like 74. We had the AC on about 61, and I was sweating inside of the house with the AC on. But it was hot and cold flashes. It was both of them. In 1 minute I felt very, very hot, and then the next moment I felt very, very cold. So I'm over here, you know, I'm like shivering. I can't find a comfortable spot. He comes home, he got me some Pedialyte, you know, to restore back my electrolytes from throwing up. Got me some crackers, ginger ale, because I haven't ate at this point. It's been about 2 days since I've ate. So I'm starving, but I cannot eat. So I'm over here, and I'm really trying to eat this cracker. It took me about 2 hours to eat a cracker about this big. The minute I finished a small bite of this cracker with ginger ale, threw everything up. And at this point, it's like, it don't feel good. Like my body feels restless, like overexhausted from throwing up. Like I can't do it anymore. Just like share my perspective of how I was. thinking in that moment. So I was like, oh my gosh, I feel like I can't do it anymore. So I'm sitting there, and you know, Marcus is the best husband, literally like holding up my hair while I'm throwing up on the couch, in a bucket though, not on the couch. But he's over there being such a sweetheart and like really trying to console me, and like I'm like, I don't feel good. He goes back out to the store to get me some more things, because I'm like, I can't drink the ginger ale and I can't eat these crackers anymore. I had one cracker. The one cracker took me about an hour to eat, tops. I couldn't eat no more crackers. It was just, I don't know, it wasn't staying down. So then what happens? So that day, did I go to the hospital Wednesday? Let me check the calendar to see what day did I go to the hospital. Okay, so Wednesday I tried to go to sleep. I think I ended up going to sleep a little bit. Thursday rolls around, and actually I'm trying to think if I went to the hospital Wednesday night. I think I did go to the hospital Wednesday night. Yeah, I did go to the hospital Wednesday night. So Wednesday night, still all day I'm not feeling good, feeling worse by the moment. And I didn't want to go to the hospital at first because we don't have any insurance. Whichever day it was, just felt like, you know, didn't have any insurance, and hospitals are expensive, like beyond expensive. So went to laid on the couch, and it's getting worse. I'm getting hotter. The fever is increasing. It's clear that it's increasing by him touching my shoulder, my arm. Like his hands like turned a little red. I was super hot, y'all. So at this moment, I'm laying on the couch and I'm like, God, like, where are you? I've been praying. So don't think that this whole time I haven't been praying or attempting to pray, because at certain points I really couldn't even talk. But don't think that I wasn't praying and really trying to seek God for my healing. I was worshiping, I was crying. It's whatever could come out of my mouth, I was trying. I had my husband praying, and you know, all of these things. So in that moment, on the night before I went to the hospital, and I'm like, God, where are you? I don't know what this pain is. I don't feel good. I feel worse. Every day I'm getting worse. I'm not sure what's happening. I just want to feel better. I want to feel better. The whole time I was sick, I kept saying, I just want to feel better. I just want to feel better. I just want to feel better. I'm tired of feeling like this. I feel weak. It just did not feel good. So then, while I'm laying there, now that I'm thinking about it, it was God that I was just laying there just asking God, like, where are you? And I just felt like I'm supposed to go to the hospital, despite of the medical costs or anything like that. Just go to the hospital. And now that I know, it was God telling me that. And I was like, all right, Marcus, can you take me to the hospital? It was like around 9 p.m. So he takes me to the hospital. We get ready. And my husband is so amazing, y'all. He was giving me showers. I couldn't shower myself, could barely use the bathroom myself. I couldn't walk to the bathroom myself at all. I'm literally like my hand around him, and like I'm like sluggish as he's like dragging me to the bathroom, literally. Couldn't keep my head up. How I'm keeping my head up right now, it's a miracle. The past few days, my head, like, it could not stay up. It was just like, just loopy. So he was really my caretaker the past few days. So we get ready to go to the hospital, getting all my stuff. He showers me before we go, you know, had to be clean because I've been thrown up all day. We get to the hospital and it gets worse. Got to the hospital and, you know, got to the triage, and the nurse did, you know, the protocol and did all the stuff, what's going on, what's happening, da 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 da, the rest of the testings and stuff, blood tests, urine tests, that test, this test, all of that tests in the triage right there. And then she tries not to scare me, as I can tell. She did my well, I can't think of it right now. She got my what do you do, the thing where they check your heart rate? That thing. She checked my heart rate, and my heart rate was increasing. So she was like, give me 1 second. She rushes out, the doctor storms in, and he was like, we need to get you into a room. So he's, you know, checking me, make sure I don't have infections. They asked me if I have COVID. They asked me if I've been tested for COVID before, and vaccine, and you know, they trying to offer me the COVID vaccine. I'm like, if it's not COVID, I don't want to hear nothing about it. My opinion, leave me alone with that. They did test me for COVID, and it came back negative. So that happens, and I'm just like continuing, like trying to remain calm, but my anxiety is starting to now increase tremendously. Like, I've never had this type of anxiety before. So I'm sitting there, they're doing the blood test. They did a CPN blood test, and at the same time I had to get a COVID test. So I was already dizzy. I almost passed out 3 times while doing the blood test. Not because of needles, I'm not afraid of needles or anything like that, but I couldn't stay up, y'all. How I'm sitting up right now, like I kept doing like this while sitting here. The doctors had to like hold me, because they had to do a blood test to see what was going on. But the doctor, I forgot to say, in the triage, the doctor did say that it did sound like sepsis, which is a part of kidney infections. So I'm over there like rocking, and I'm like, y'all, I do not feel good. Like, if you could take this blood thing out of my arm, like, I don't feel good. And, you know, Marcus is trying to encourage me, and I appreciated it, but I'm like, babe, I'm seeing literally, like, I'm gonna try to show you with the camera what I seen with my eyes. It was going like this. It was getting black and clear, black and clear, black and clear, black and clear. I know that was probably not the best visual, but it was literally getting like, yes, this is the perfect example. It was looking just like this. Black, clear, black, clear, black, clear. So anyways, that was happening, and I am like starting to worry. I'm not even gonna lie, I'm starting to worry. I'm laughing about it now because God is so, I'm not laughing, I'm smiling about it now because God is so good. So to wrap this up, because this has just got super long for no reason, got checked into a room, admitted into a room. I had to do a urine test. Then I had to go do a CT scan to check to see if I had kidney stone or anything wrong with my kidneys, after my pregnancy test came back negative. And then, because obviously, you know, if you're pregnant, you can't go underneath that radiation. So went into the room for the CT scan, and they had told me that there was my urethra was widened, and that there was multiple stones, and the pain that I was feeling, it was passing a stone. But on top of that, they had gave me some antibiotics and Tylenol and stuff, like when I got admitted to the room. So I immediately started to feel better, and lo and behold, right before I went to the CT scan, I passed the stone, and I felt like 100% better. Obviously on top of that, because it was because of the medication that they were giving me, but I felt immediately better. So I went into the CT scan like so aware that, and I wanted to go so bad. I'm really trying to like explain this to the best of my ability. I wanted to go so bad because I don't like hospitals, not for no specific reasons. It's just, I don't know, it's just after like last month my cousin passed away, And like just seeing the way that he was at the hospital, like I think it just like triggered me in a different way. And like, you know, I just kept thinking about him the whole time in the hospital. Like my cousin was in the hospital a month ago when he passed away. So it just like, it was not a great time for me, especially in the time of me still grieving my cousin that passed away at the hospital. So it was not a good experience at all. So, you know, all of that is happening. I did that. They seen that it was kidney stones. It passed, and I'm just in the hospital bed, anxious. Like, I'm like, I can't sleep. I'm trying to rest. I can't. I'm like shaking, and I'll keep waiting for the doctors to come in. You know, they leave me in the room for a while to like see, you know, run their test to make sure everything's okay. They told me that I have another one that's gonna pass soon, whether it could be a month from now, a year from now, I'm not sure, but I'm praying and I'm believing that when the next one passes, I do not feel any pain from it in the name of Jesus. The type of pain that I felt, I would not wish it on, I don't have any enemies, a person that I would call my enemy, but I wouldn't wish it on anybody, not nobody on walking on this earth. I would wish that pain on. It was horrific. Horrific. The thought of it actually made me very suffer from PTSD a little bit. So fast forward, we ended up being discharged. I learned that I received that kidney stone because I had a UTI untreated, and I didn't know. I had that, didn't know that it was untreated, but it was a non-bacterial UTI that was left untreated and caused a kidney infection, which caused a kidney stone. Again, do the research on if you want to know exactly what this stuff is. I had no idea about things about my kidney. Didn't know my kidney was right here. Didn't know I was feeling kidney pain. Didn't know any of that stuff. So got, you know, left, went back to the house. That few hours later, I was in the hospital for about like 6-7 hours, I think. Went back home and I could not sleep. I was suffering highly with anxiety, crying. I couldn't sleep. Tried worshiping, tried praying, and it felt like nothing. Was helping me. And I did the whole thing. I tried to lay on the floor, go to the other room to pray. I tried doing so much, and it wasn't like my heart literally, like you could look at it on my shirt, you could see it like pumping. It didn't feel good at all. So I remember saying to my husband, like, can you please pray for me? Like I don't have the capacity to anymore. Like I just don't feel good. Oh, I forgot something. When I was at the hospital and I was waiting to be admitted, I literally felt like my life was passing right before my eyes. When I said that I was seeing the black and white thing, I literally felt like my heart, I think it was just me, but it felt like my heart was slowing down. Even though they said my heart rate was going up, but it felt like it was like slower beats at this point. I had a high fever, by the way. I don't think I said that. I had a high fever of like 103 or something. And it felt like it was just like beating out of my chest. I started seeing the black and white stuff. And I'm like, Lord, like I'm about to pass away at a hospital from whatever it is that's going on. But yeah, I was getting real emotional because I'm like, wow, like I'm about to make 1 year with my husband. And like I didn't really get to enjoy life that much. Like all of these things are literally going through my head. And I'm like, wow, Marcus is, you know, he's trying to encourage me and lift me up and do all those things. I'm just over here like, what exactly is it that I'm gonna, like, I don't know. I'm not trying to cry, but it was difficult. So when we got home, I couldn't sleep, like I said. The hospital just left me traumatized, and it was really more because, like I said, with my cousin, and as of right now, I'm not in a place where I could be in hospitals right now. So Not that I don't trust the doctors. They did amazing. They treated me. I have medication now that I'm on for about 2-3 weeks, so I'm not too worried about like things just going the other direction. But I couldn't sleep. I tried sleeping on the couch. I slept for 3 hours that night that I got back from the hospital. Only 3 hours. I was also afraid to be left alone, so when Marcus had to go back to work, like, I was literally bawling my eyes out. I just didn't feel comfortable. It just felt like there was just so much that was going on. So Marcus is over there waiting, looking at me, but I'm almost done here. So it just didn't feel good, y'all. It wasn't a great experience at all. I highly don't recommend. Point of my little story time, I just want to share like what's been going on with me from my perspective. I'm still recovering, still on medication. I'm still alive by the grace of God. I'm so grateful. Never experienced anything like this. So of course, like, I'm still on top of taking care of my health as I've already been doing, or just doing more for my body and for my health. And if anything, this was more of a switch to keep on pressing towards my health, and I'm encouraging you guys to do the same thing as well. Of course, like, we don't know truly, like, sometimes what's going on in our bodies, and we have to really take care of the things, our body as a temple, and really honor God with our bodies by what we consume. And you know, I used to be that person who says that, you know, I'm gonna die one day anyways, I'm gonna eat whatever I want, and there's a cost for that. There's a cost for that, and we want to live long, healthy lives. There's no reason for you to be here on earth and constantly in pain in the body that God gave you because you refuse to eat the way that you should be eating. Just take care of your body. That's all I gotta say. Take care of your body. But yes, that's my little story time on what exactly has been happening to me. If you're a believer in Jesus, pray for me. Keep me in your prayers as I am recovering and just getting back to my best health that I can be. So yeah, love you guys. Thank you for tuning in to this video, and I'll see you in my next one.